Cardinals. They traded for
Big
Hollywood
stuff.
Brown. D-Hop has been suspended for 6 games. D-Hop says he's really trying to get to the bottom to how this possibly could have happened. I have a theory, which is that he did steroids.
Good theory. Yeah.
Right. It's my working theory. We're just spitballing here. We're just workshopping. And Hollywood Brown, all of a sudden, at times he seemed a little disappointing, but he actually had decent numbers by the end of last year. And since we're talking about breakfast clubs and we're talking about birthday party clubs, I mean, he and Kyler Murray are legit like best friends, right?
Oh, yeah. We're seeing that trend start to happen where receivers
really
and their college quarterbacks are getting realigned, and the trend is working. It works really nice. So let's look at Hollywood Brown, who I really genuinely think has top 10 upside. In fact, we saw a top 10 upside last year through week 9 before Lamar Jackson got hurt. Hollywood Brown was the wide receiver 6 in fantasy.
Yeah.
And that was after dropping 3 touchdowns that one game. I don't know if you remember that one, but
of course I do.
Oh my God. That was insanity. He should have had maybe the wide receiver 1 in fantasy points had he had those extra 35 plus points. They were bomb TDs that could have gone crazy.
Oh, it was incredible watching him drop those points.
That was painful. And he still put up like 18 fantasy points that day, but it should have been 50. Regardless, he had a solid year. And the usage was fine there. 145 targets. That was 9th, 27% target share. 12th, 1,518 air yards. 11th. Quantity was there. Check. But the quality of those looks is the big concern. That's where I think we're going to see a enormous leap forward. He ranked 67th in target accuracy, 59th in catchable target rate, and 65th in quarterback rating, according to player profile. And that's why I think Kyler Murray, one, you already mentioned, the pre-established rapport, the college history. That's great. That's huge. And we even had Peter King writing. He didn't want to be in Baltimore. He wanted a less conservative offense, one that takes big strike opportunities. And he wanted to reunite with his quarterback, Kyler Murray. So bam, check. That's nice. But let's look at the stats as well about Kyler Murray. 3rd in passer rating on deep passes, 25 plus yards. 3rd in yards per attempt at 15.8. And he also was number 1 in the completion rate of deep passes. Nearly 50% of his deep passes got completed, and he had the highest Pro Football Focus passing grade, 99.3, on his deep throws. All to say, he's a great deep thrower. Marquise Brown is still under 25 years old and can still burn. And with DeAndre Hopkins now out for at least those 6+ games, he should be the focal point of this air raid attack. The last time we saw this duo reunited, he was outperforming CeeDee Lamb at Oklahoma. Yeah. So I really think this could be an enormous get for them. He's going about round late 4, early 5th, around wide receiver 25, 26. I love the value there. I have him right at wide receiver 19, I think, on my big board, maybe even higher than that. 19, yeah. So I love the guy, and the more I talk about him, the more I want to bump him up even more. So huge move for him. Yeah,
he's in that category that we've already referenced like twice, which is like very, very tough to judge.
Yeah, Mike Thomas.
If he ends up 10 or
if he ended up more, like how do you sift through all?
But he's one of those guys I'm more excited about. Where I said some of those guys, it's like okay, I could see him finishing 10th, or I could see him finishing 30th. I don't see him finishing 30th.
No,
like,
I
think 19 is. I don't want to say the floor, but the floor is not much below that. Assume ruling out.
I think it's definitely a higher floor.
Ruling out injuries, stuff like that. Real quick, Zach Ertz before we move on to the Ravens.
Yeah, I wonder if he's a faller or not, because we have to know it's a draft recap, right? They drafted Trey McBride, the top tight end, 55th overall, good capital in there. Long term, I love this fit. I think Trey McBride was definitely the best tight end. Great hands, great big body. I wonder, though, we've seen it take so long for rookie tight ends to typically translate. So I don't think Zach Ertz is an immediate faller. The guy did see the 3rd most tight end targets last year. This could eat into it a little bit, but at the same time, no Hopkins for a while, and they vacated otherwise a ton of their work. They were at the top of the list till AJ Green returned, but this was the tight end 4 from his time onward, Zach Ertz with the Cardinals. I don't think we're going to see a Trey McBride have such a big impact that he falls outside the top 12 now. And that's right around where he gets drafted, is like tight end 12, 13 after this move. So I think it's creating a little bit of a value opportunity. Of course, dynasty-wise, only 2 years left on the contract this year and next year. After that, I do think it'll be the Trey McBride show. But at least for this one season, given how typically rookie tight ends struggle to translate, I think we still can feel pretty firm about keeping Zach Ertz where he was. The last name to talk about is Rondale Moore, who had some big flashes as a rookie, but ultimately didn't do a whole lot. He's going to have every opportunity, and Kingsbury did talk about him, the next Deebo Samuel. He talked about him as their version of Deebo Samuel, but man, is he small, he's short. There's a very, very low hit rate of receivers that are under 5'9", and he's 5'8". He's like 180. Like he might have a couple big games here or there, but I don't really believe in Rondale Moore, even with all these targets opening up. Do you have any opinions on him or Zach Ertz?
No, I tend to agree with your assessment of Ertz, whereas I think that he will ultimately fall, but maybe not this year to a degree where you avoid him like the plague or anything like that. Bateman, not Bateman, Rondale Moore, I'm just not sure. I don't feel like I know quite enough. I know that they re-signed AJ Green, right?
Yeah, that was gross. I was so mad.
Right. I was more saying that because I'm just surprised that they did. Like, why? I mean, he'll get some burn. I mean, he'll get a chance if he's the real deal. Like he'll have a chance to prove it to us because with Hopkins out for 6 games, he's going to get a lot of playing time.
Absolutely, yeah. If he gets that Deebo Samuel style usage, you mentioned a cliff for Ertz. It could happen. I mean, he is old,
sure.
And I thought he hit the cliff a couple of years ago.
3 years ago, I thought he was done.
So he had a little bit of a rejuvenation last year, but nobody should be surprised if he does hit that cliff. I shouldn't be sitting here acting like he is completely foolproof. And if he does hit that cliff, I mean, McBride could hit the ground running as early as his rookie year. So I think there is some upside. Certainly in Dynasty Leagues, I love taking McBride. He's fallen to the end of round 2 in a lot of rookie drafts. Yeah. I'm scooping him up all day. But redraft wise, I'm definitely hesitant. What is up, you fantasy wolf? Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, share your thoughts in the comments. Check out some more videos and join the newest Wolfpack by subscribing below.